Good Sunday morning. This is Dee, and this is Critical Break. It is August the 5th, 2018, and it is 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I wanted to start doing a preface to my streams, so here it goes. The work I do here is for all religions, all races, all backgrounds, no matter what your beliefs are. They are my messages from Adonai and Gabriel, and I am sharing my experiences with them, my life. I am documenting my journey in this realm we call planet Earth Gaia, the holodeck. You all knew when you were a child of pure soul spirit, before the trauma of this place, that something was off. Something just didn't feel right. You were told to stop daydreaming, to stop asking why. This is part of the virus, wanting to keep you from remembering who you truly are. Beings created in his image, junior creators. You are far, far more powerful than it was ever let be known. I'm here to remind you of this. It is part of my mission here. I'm here to guide you, to help you remember, to help you stop feeding the virus. You must ask yourself, could she be right? Could what she is saying be true? Please don't leave in judgment based on what you have been told. Try to connect with that innocence that was you as a child before all the indoctrination and programming when listening to this material. Anyway, good Sunday morning, everybody. I'm going to pull up the chat room and see how everybody's doing. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sir Tony, Miss Apple, Sir My Sky. Good to see you guys. And yes, I am. Sir Tony asks, are you okay, Dee? It's like, yes, I am. But I'll get into this past week has been interesting, as always. Lots of digging, lots of research, and just, yeah, it's been overwhelming. It's been one of those weeks. And I don't think it's going to be much different for me. So I'm trying to adjust to just how overwhelming that is. Good morning, Sir Jason. Good to see you. Anyway, yes, I'm doing fine. Besides the obvious things. My last video that I put up, it wasn't a live stream, it was just one I put up, was documenting the healing that my free agent has had. And I believe that all of you could very well have that ability. Some of us, our strengths are in different places. So some of you may only have a shadow of that ability, and others may be super strong. But the ones that only have a shadow of the ability to heal may have their abilities heightened in other areas. So make sure you keep that in mind. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't work for you exactly as it did for me. Okay. Good morning, Sir OR. It's great to see you. Good morning, Sir Arthur. Good to see you too. You guys are so amazing. If you only knew what I feel when I speak with any of you or watch your videos or anything like that. It's indescribable what I feel. And it's good, really good. So anyway, the kitty cat video that I posted, my free agent, Mr. Ambrose, Sir Tony had asked me a question about whether I had had the cat x-rayed after his healing. Now he's been healed. Well, he's been going through that healing process since March, but the ability to run has been going on for 3 months now. And now he's back to catching mice and rats and moles and things. And yeah, like I said, I don't like it, but it's what the kitty do. So I also, Sir Tony had asked if I'd had it x-rayed after. I have not. I would love to see those x-rays. That original vet visit where I had him x-rayed was $100. Okay. So to get that done again would cost me another 100, I'm sure. 100 I don't have. I didn't have it then either. Yeah, I put myself, well, I'm always in a very ugly financial situation constantly. It's like part of the virus. It's way of keeping me from putting my thoughts and my attention where it needs to be, which is on this. But I called the vet and asked for a copy of his original x-rays because it wasn't just broken in one place at the growth plate of his knee. It was broken in 2 places. Anyway, as you can see by the video, he's doing really well and back to his old self. And I couldn't be happier. The amount of stress and it was overwhelming when he got hurt because I knew I didn't have the funds to do anything about it. And I had experienced some things back in the past where, of course, I doubted myself, where I had done something that seemed to make some healing happen. And I doubted myself. But in this case, I had no other option. So I threw everything to the wind and just did it. And that's part of the problem. The virus makes us doubt ourselves, you know. So I just wanted to update you all. The vet's office did call me back. And this is interesting. You know about the HIPAA laws for healthcare, you know. Guess what? They have them for animals. The records of your pets in some states. And it varies from state to state. I was floored when she called me back because I called fairly late in the day on Friday about getting a copy of his x-ray film or a picture of it or something. Because I said, could you like take a picture of it with your phone and email me? I even recorded the conversation so that you guys all would know about it. Good morning, Miss Kim. Good morning, Plasma. It's so good to see you. Anyway, uh, she called me back and she started stating this HIPAA thing on pet files, pet records. And I was like, I was floored. I was like, what? She goes, it's really late in the day. Can we take care of this on Monday? And I'm like, okay. So I immediately, when I got off the phone, because I was sitting there just going, pet HIPAA rules, blah, 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 what? So me and my digging and my searching, that I always do, immediately typed it in and started looking into that. They do have them. But since he's a free agent, nobody owns him. But since I am the recorded owner, I should be able to get his records without any problem. But I have a funny feeling I'm going to have to go to the vet's office and sign a release to get his x-ray. Is that ridiculous? It's like, are you kidding me? On a pet? Really? Anyway, update on Ambrose. I just wanted to share that with you all. So yeah, it's been kind of it's always crazy around here though. So just kind of the way it is. Anyway, I've got some stuff to share with everybody. I'm just looking through the chat real quick to make sure there isn't any questions or anything. It is really great to see all of you. It's so fun when I get to spend time with you. It's like a break from all the astral and crazy stuff I have happening. It's like, okay, I got to be normal for a little bit. Well, sort of, whatever that means. Anyway, okay, let's see. I got that out of the way, so I'm going to close it. Next. Okay. I'm fully aware because of my upload speed that when I go into share screen with you guys, that it seems to create a lag between what I'm saying and the video. So I'm going to try to not do that as often as possible, but there's times where I can't avoid it. And it does seem to sort of clear up as, once I get done with the share screen, it'll be off completely for a few minutes, and it does seem to sort of catch up. So I know it's annoying. I hate that. I absolutely detest that. But I am aware of it. So just to let you all be aware of that too, okay? That when I do a share screen, there's going to be a weird, funky lineup with the video and audio for a little bit afterwards. So bear with me on that. Hopefully, eventually, maybe I can get an internet that has better upload speed and won't cause that. So keep your fingers crossed. Anyway, let's see. The next thing I got to share with you guys. Let me look at what I've got here, because I've got. Okay. Yep, I've already got that. Yay. Okay. Something in my digging and research came across my desk this week that I actually believe I got the link from Sir Richard's group on Facebook. I think he posted it because he's got a big fascination with the planet Mars. And if you read the ancient text, Mars was inhabited just like this planet. Many others were too. But Mars particularly wasn't too much unlike this one. If you read the ancient text, there was a devastating war, and Mars was, its atmosphere and everything was just completely annihilated. There are signs. I mean, you can tell when you look at the pictures that you can see remnants of, look at the pictures of nuclear blast and the devastation that results from those. And what you see on Mars is not unlike what you see in the pictures of what happened here during said situations. So I'm going to do a share screen and go over a few things with you guys first, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about where I'm from, Adonai and Gabriel. And it's interesting because Gabriel's not here. And usually of the two, he's the one that's always here. But Adonai's here right now. I just wanted to note that because that's kind of unusual. It's rare that it's just Adonai, but that's all that's here right now. Anyway, I will go into share screen and we'll get that over with. Just remember that the video will lag while I'm doing this afterwards when I get done doing this. So just hang in there, bear with it, okay? Here we go. All right. Remember I told you about a being, which I will put the picture back up that I drew of the being. It's rudimentary, but it gets the point across. About a being that visited my bedroom. And this ties directly with that. I'm not going to play the videos audio, but I'm going to show you something. These are from pictures of Mars taken by the missions up there with the rovers, etc. I'm going to make this full screen. The link for this particular video is in my description box. So after the stream, if you want to visit this entire video, which I highly recommend, it will give you glimpses of what that civilization once was on Mars, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and I'm going to stop it at a certain point. This is the part that I want you all to pay attention to. The area circled on this image blew my mind completely. Pay attention to it. See that image? That looks like a partially buried sculpture of some sort. Notice the eyes, the nose, the wide, thin mouth, some sort of helmet. Now remember, keep that image in your head right now, okay? Because that is a statue, I believe, of the very being that visited my bedroom. Now, if you'll remember, I went over, because after that being visited my bedroom, I started searching the net to try to figure out what on earth that was. And when I started searching the net for frog-like beings, this popped up, which looks, this is a baby, okay? Look at the face of that. Look at the baby. Now, according to the World Health Organization, these babies are the result of what they're calling a Zika virus. There's a lot of them, as you can see by the pictures. A lot of genetic manipulation by races on this planet that are not from this planet originally has gone on. And I believe that this being right here, the one that visited my bedroom, this guy, is directly responsible for this. It's just uncanny, the resemblance, isn't it? Just completely uncanny. Okay. Now, I'm going to remind you all the picture I drew of the being in my bedroom. Like I said, rudimentary, but there you go. I'm connecting dots. That's part of what I'm doing with my research, is trying to find out what is going on here. Trying to piece together what the HE double hockey sticks is happening. Okay. Thin lips, look at the nose, look at the eyes, some sort of a helmet. Get the drift. Get where I'm going with this. This thing that visited my bedroom is real. Okay. It's a real being. Also very responsible for a bunch of the DNA dinking that's happened with the humans on this planet, I might add. Very responsible. Okay, I wanted to share that because when I came across that video of the statue of a being on Mars, in the ruins, laying in the ruins on Mars, I was like, oh my gosh, what? So you guys are probably feeling a bit that way yourselves right now. I'm going to see if there's any questions about that in the chat. Any questions from any of you? I guarantee you these beings are real that I'm seeing. Guaranteed, 100%. They exist, they're real, and they're no joke. Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? Yes. And that's not all Mars people. It just happens to be a statue that was on Mars. It means something. And if any of you have visited the Sumerian tablets, which I might add is what our Bible is basically telling you, if you have eyes to see, many of the religions are saying the same thing, just in different words, but also trust that those books have been heavily manipulated. So keep that in mind. But that being that visited my bedroom, the babies that look oddly just like him, and that it was a male, I sensed male during that encounter, and those babies that look like him, and if you look at the Sumerian tablets, he is described as an amphibian. Jackpot, ding, 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 ding. Things are adding up. It's part of my puzzle pieces that I'm trying to put together. So when I talk about doing all the research, that's part of what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a thing. I don't even know where to go with that, except for that's part of my puzzle pieces. And like I told you guys, total transparency, You know, sometimes I think maybe I shouldn't share all the visions that I have or all the encounters that I have, because some of it is negative. But at the same time, I want you all to be aware that these are real. These things exist. The things, you know, I studied mythology when I was in junior high, and because I had a big interest in it, not sure why, I just did. And these beings that they're calling mythology and the ancient texts that they're poo-pooing and saying aren't real, they're real. They're very real. They're much more real than anything else I've seen. So, good morning, Corey. Good to see you. Anyway, so, I mean, trust me when I say a lot of the stuff I research and a lot of the things that I come across, I'm completely baffled. But if I see something that Adonai or Gabriel lead me to, which a lot of what happens is them leading me towards this stuff, it's because they want me to pay attention. There's something to it. So I need to share it with you all so that you are in the same point of your journeys along with me. And then you guys can backtrack if you need to get further information. Like if you haven't read the Sumerian tablets or the Book of Enoch or the Emerald tablets about Enki, Thoth, and the whole gang, Enlil, all of them. Anu, if you haven't done that, and you have any interest in in the history, what's behind everything that's happening right now, like I said, there's some videos coming up where I'm going to be sharing other people's work that will help enlighten you and speed your path along. But anyway, I'm going to read a couple of comments. Miss Kim, it's all because of the dimension shift to 5D. Was watching Sergeant Patty Bassard, who said that the Draco and Martians are 3D, and because of their DNA structure, they cannot cope with 5D. Let's see. Miss Kim, they are trying to survive by taking on human bodies to survive 5D. We're already in 5D since the wave after a recent lunar eclipse. You know, there's some things that have popped up recently for me. I'll probably do another video, another live stream, because I feel the need for it because there's so much information coming in right now that links to what you're saying. It has to do with some frequency signals coming from deep space that they don't know. They think it's ET of origin, that I'm researching right now. Also, there's some things in the Bible. Like I said, the Bible has pieces of truth. All the religious doctrine out there has pieces of truth because it has to, because that's part of the rules of the game. They have to tell you the truth mixed in with the lies and their twisting of what really happened. So you have to really, when you dig into all the documents and you put them all together, you start seeing the glimpses of the truth. But yes, there is something going on, and something I'm getting ready to show you all here in a minute, another share screen, is something that is very related to what you're talking about, Miss Kim. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And if you haven't run across him yet, you are in for a treat. Okay? Miss Kim loves to dig, research, and connect dots. And I think this is a huge dot. Huge. Anyway, so I'm excited for you because if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to go, wow. I know I did. Anyway, Miss Apple says, Kim, I heard the meltdown of Fukushima is because they live better at the high thermonuclear environment, the Dracos or Greys. I have, Miss Apple, I'm glad you brought that up because I have long suspected that some of the chemtrailing that's going on, geoengineering, and likely Fukushima as well, because it's raising the temperature too, because those chemtrails you would think would be blocking the sun, and they do in a way, but they also, because of refraction, they are actually increasing the temperature. Think of it as a terrarium. Think about that, how a terrarium works. That stuff is being reflected down to us. It like intensifies our sun. So that explains the increased temperatures on the planet in general. It also explains why people are sunburning much easier under the sun. So food for thought. Just something else I've researched, but I'm not 100% certain about what's going on there. But I think there's a lot. I think the chemtrail thing is a multi-purpose thing. It's not just one single thing. I think it's multi-purpose, including the deal with Morgellons and some other nasty things, including making certain areas of the population extremely ill, which I experienced once upon filming a very odd chemtrail. I got super, super sick right afterwards. I'll have to talk about that in a different video sometime. So many things that have happened in the past that I wish I had documented on video back when it happened, but I didn't realize all these things were adding up to where they are. So anyway, let me pull down the thing on planet Mars and stuff and get to the next thing I wanted to show you all. Okay. Here we go. Sharing screen again. All right. There is a YouTube channel called Neo Glimmer. I believe he is one of us. He is having experiences with ETs and experiences much like my own. And he is receiving coding from them. I have links below this video for you all if you want to look at this PDF that I'm showing you on the screen, or you can go after the stream and go check this out. I left a link for this page too, which has just the audio. It's a podcast audio. You can download it for yourself or play it straight from the site. It also has a link for his YouTube channel and a link for this PDF. I also linked the PDF and his YouTube channel under this video I'm doing right now. Anyway, this is what they gave him. And man, oh man, did it ring a bunch of bells in my head. And so as we go over this document, first, I want to go to the bottom of the document. As it reads, copy everything exactly how it's written, even if it doesn't seem correct. This is divine code for your higher self to engage these very essential programs. The event shall be sparked by these coded commands seated by those who write this down and publish it on the Ethernet. Let's do this, living souls. All right, now I'm going to scroll back up. And we're just going to go over the document briefly because you guys can look at all this after the stream if you want. Remove torment. And this number 1275 equals twin planet. Then remove, and when I say remove, when it says remove torment, what have I been speaking to you all about? About returning to your innocence, about remembering who you are, remembering that little child that knew something wasn't right when you got here. You knew it. You felt it. I mean, there were so many signs everywhere that something was really not right. Something didn't feel right. Anyway, so what I've been telling you all, remove torment, the trauma that you have experienced since you reincarnated in this place, okay? And this thing's lining up with what I've been telling you, and it's kind of freaking me out a bit. A lot of stuff freaks me out a bit, like the crazy Mars video showing the ruins on Mars and that statue. I was just blown away. But anyway, remove torment. So reconnecting with the real you, the one that is more powerful than you can even imagine. Okay? Remove torment. Remove testament in any event. What did I tell you guys? That our creator does not need you to make confessions to him. He, in your mind, think about this. Somebody, your creator, all-knowing, always around you, knows everything. So you don't need to confess anything to anybody, okay? He doesn't need your confessions. Nobody does. So the churches that teach you you must go to confession, that's the virus, because it wants to use your confession against you. That's why I keep telling you, if you feel compelled to go to somebody and tell them what you did wrong, make sure it's somebody that's already done the work, that's already connected with their inner innocence, okay? Because they have no gain in re-traumatizing you and using that against you, okay? Only the virus would ever use that against you, or somebody that hasn't done the work yet because the virus is still in control of them. Until they remember who they really are, it's an issue. So do not, if you do feel totally compelled that you need to voice whatever it is you did wrong, please, please, please do not do it with anybody but somebody that's done the work, okay? And definitely don't go to your church and start confessing everything you've done, because trust me, you want more trauma, that's exactly what it'll get you, okay? Remove testament. Just this document is telling you exactly what I've been trying to tell you. So this Neo Glimmer is getting the same messages I'm getting, okay? Remove Torah net. Now the Torah net is part of the virus. It's part of the virus's system, okay? The Torah net, I believe to be basically a net over our planet that was used partially to keep us from knowing things, and also was there basically to help capture your souls when you exit this plane, and feed you back, forced reincarnation back into this planet to be traumatized some more, because this virus this evil feeds from all the negativity, and that's sadness, hate, anger, all those negative things that feed it, okay? It's what I've been trying to tell super soldiers and people that are targeted individuals, they are going after you specifically because you are the keys to awaken everybody else. You guys, the reason they're going after you so hard and heavy is because they know that if they keep you from realizing who you really are, then what we're doing here is not going to work. You guys are like major keys to this. So the sooner you awaken and realize who and what you really are, and we starve this virus that's here, the better. I mean, like now, we need to do this now. It's game time, okay? Anyway, remove the Torah net, which, remember I told you back in May, there was a huge decided victory in the astral. And that was the victory. No more forced reincarnation, okay? We're supposed to be able to incarnate, come and go as we at our own whim, and not farmed through here. It was basically, the best way to put it is, this place was hijacked by the virus, okay? And yes, this place is for junior creators to live, learn, and love, okay? Not what it's turned into, not this funky weirdness that's going on where everybody's traumatizing everybody and the virus is running amok, okay? But I was freaking out when I was reading all this. So remove torment, remove testament. In any event, remove Torah net. The number that this added up to was 1246, forever immortal. What have I been telling you? You are infinite beings. Pure energy, no joke. Equal vertical ascension, okay? Scala X brothership to mothership. And by the way, your God, the gods, because there is the God, and then there's a bunch of lower level gods. That's another thing they tried to cover up. They tried to make you all think that there was one God. No, there's a whole bunch. There's one creator, but then there's a whole bunch of gods running around, and some of them are not good. Okay? Part of the virus. And the virus covered up that fact. They didn't want you to know that there's multiple gods. They didn't want you to know that this war in heaven is real and the war is on this planet. It's no joke. And guess what? The ETs, they are angels and demons. Bank on it. Scala X brothership to mothership. Day of new arc. People have been talking about motherships, and I've seen the ships. I've been on the ships. I know there are ships. Some of them are inside our planet, and then some of them are interstellar. Some of them are actually interdimensional. I mean, the list goes on and on. But day of the new arc, brothership to mothership. Okay. Then see lock shadow souls. What that tells me is the souls on the planet that cannot be retrieved. Remember what I said? Adonai told me specifically, you can't save them all. And I was like, watch me. But I'm coming to the realization that that could very well be right. That's part of why this week has been hard on me, because I'm coming to the realization that I can't save them all. We can't save them all. It's not just me, it's us. And that depressed me a bit this week. You can imagine. So anyway, lock shadow souls. So those that truly are unredeemable, that's going to be their end. basically. The galactic center and Jupiter equal an entire different world. I Mandatora event O port. Extinction event. Now, this is something I hadn't shared with you all yet because I don't want you all to be fearful, because that's the last thing, because fear feeds the virus. So it's the last thing I wanted to talk about with you all, because I'm seeing a bunch of signs pointing to this. Extinction event. Return to yourself. Like I said, return to your inner, the real you, the innocence. Return to your innocence. That means the same thing. Return to yourself. This is the end of all devils. This is the end of the virus. Okay? I'm just putting it into the words I have used, but it means the same thing. It means exactly the same thing. Okay? Adonai and Gabriel have been telling me to tell you guys all this stuff, the same things that are in this document, and it totally blew my mind when I read it. Declared at ice, seed Aden pin. I'm not real sure what this is, but it says Great Sophia, God's taking home. And I have my suspicions of what that means. I'm sure you all do too. See Eden deep in Pi. The center. Gaia Ascension. The great I am. Okay. Transport Nova Gaia. First taken of the saved. A twin soul. And I'm not sure who that is. If that's a single person or a multitude of people. Okay. First taken of the saved. So that could mean a single person. When it says a twin soul, it indicates a single person. But that may be incorrect. I'm not sure. I'm just going off of what's going through my head and sharing it with you all. Awake in subtle, rota in end. Now, this is something that really made me stop and think. Her holy door mother of chief sitting bull. Equal holy grail, destroyed magic mirror. I think that Torahnet is the magic mirror. Okay. Key to the word. Something that's interesting is I've been told, and I don't know if this is a fact, but I'm told that I am related to Chief Sitting Bull. So this kind of blew my mind. Why would Sitting Bull or Chief Sitting Bull, what would he have to do with all of this? Kind of interesting. Don't know where that's leading yet, but anyway. The next part, relax, encode, Claire seed at I. Return home, galactic spiral of creation. My mission. Funny, the word my mission comes up. What if I keep telling you guys I'm on a mission? I have a mission here, and it's to make you guys remember who and what you are and to expose the virus for what it is. I am the Holy Grail. Off disk connected. Process, it's all in place. Rename logos. This one final. All right. The other thing that kind of pops up here to me is this galactic spiral of creation. There are, and I didn't realize that this might be connected. Maybe I should have pulled that up. Let me pull that up real quick. Galactic spiral of creation. I do not like the news. I rarely visit it, but of recent, there's been some reasons I have, and I'm going to show you why. Here we go. Live science. A mysterious, powerful force is flinging radio waves at us from deep space. Now this, like I said, Gabriel and Adonai, they direct me where to look. And this is one of the things they pointed to. Does it have something to do with this galactic spiral of creation? Our universe is teeming with invisible light beyond the visible spectrum. Space is a colorful mess of radio signals and microwaves fired off by flaring suns, collapsing stars, crackling magnetic fields, rolling dust clouds, and seething black holes. Then there's a light nobody understands. Mysterious, ultra-strong sparks of energy zipping billions of light years across the universe from unknown origins, for unknown reasons. Puzzling pulses like these are sometimes called fast radio bursts because they may last only a few milliseconds. On the morning of July 25th, one such burst of mysterious energy whizzed past a new array of radio telescopes nestled in the mountains of British Columbia, Canada, registering one of the rarest radio frequencies ever detected. According to a statement released in Astronomer's Telegram, a bulletin board for astronomical observations posted by accredited scientists, the mystery signal named FRB 180725A, after the year, the month, and the day it was detected, transmitted in frequencies as low as 580 megahertz, nearly 200 megahertz lower than any other FRBs ever been detected. These events have occurred during both day and night, and their arrival times are not correlated with known or on-site activities or other known sources. The pulse, I'm going to just skip all over that. The pulse's fast, low frequency suggests that the blast was extremely bright. Sound familiar? Everybody's been expecting something? That the blast was extremely bright and originated from an insanely powerful source somewhere in the cosmos. Studying the peculiar signal could give astronomers better clues as to how these galactic radio waves form and where they come from. Fast radio bursts are exceedingly bright given their short duration and origin at great distances, and we haven't identified a possible natural source with any confidence. He added that an artificial origin of the signals, i.e. extraterrestrial intelligence, is worth considering. Other possible origins include supernovas, supermassive black holes, or other sources of mighty electromagnetic radiation, such as pulsars. Anyway, that article is interesting. It is in Google News if you want to go look it up. All you have to do is look for this headline and click on it, and it'll take you to that article so you can finish reading it. Anyway, that directly ties with what Miss Kim was talking about. And there's just so much going on. I can't even begin to. But yeah, there's links in the description for this PDF and his interview. Like I said, and I also linked his YouTube channel. down below my stream, so you guys can visit that and listen to his story, which is also on this podcast right here on this page, which I linked. So moving on, we talked about gematria, or about the numbers, the angel numbers, and I'm getting 1111 constantly, all the time. I'm also getting some other numbers. Some of you are getting some numbers that are repeating. Not only look up the angel numbers and their meanings, but also go to gematria. And I'm getting 1111 constantly, which I believe means I'm on the right path. I think that's what 1111 means, is that you're going down the right path. But it's interesting what comes up when you type in 1111 into a gematria calculator. Because you remember the twin flame thing that they talk about here? Let's see. Was right near the beginning. Twin planet. Something about a twin soul. Where was that? Am I missing it? There is a twin planet too. Twin soul right here. Twin flame pops up here, which I thought that was kind of interesting. And some of the other things that pop up with 1111, the outstanding number, hidden knowledge, cast the plagues upon man, see robot logic experts, robot immortality, Bazozo, I'm not sure what that is. Do not fear 11, arrow, the magnificence of King David, Bar Yishak, twin flame, 411, contact Gematrix robot, Kelly Evati, I don't know who that is, benevolent light, the quantum number, 90-degree hexagon, the great corrupt Satan, my lips shall praise thee, Hamas war, Holy Ghost abuser, warning, lie, the new age I am. Remember that? I believe that popped up in here too. Let me find it. There we go. The great I am. And I'm just piecing this together right now as I'm speaking with you guys. So you're watching me do some of my research, basically real time. The new age I am. Dime a dozen stupid. Luzuli Hierophant. Root of all evil. Please clarify an image. I Ching robot. Usual robot messages. Programs AI subliminal robot. And there is a lot of subliminal programming going on with the planet, and it's been going on a very, very long time. Create robot zero. The devil lost. You bet. Looking till the end of time, robot brain. Iran war. I don't know why Alex Jones keeps popping up, but it's twice now. Soto Rojas. Own dad master of the numbers. My son is being a robot. That one kind of makes me giggle. Mark and Dawn. Robot Trace Music Program, the robotic physics field. Let's see, let me make this a little bigger. Beheaded VT robot, Daith Visod Crossroad. All real re-aliens are evil. So what's a re-alien? That's a good question. R-E and then the word alien. Stars a child, Obama his wife. Transcending motherboard robot, fingers removed. Exactly robot. Satan's RFID apocalypse. Lawton. Celtic Irish Viking. Simi R. Robots language filter. 11.4. Sarah the Holy Spirit. Sleepwalk. Become a robot, a language professional. Dath Ouija board. Holy Lioness of Man's Fate. The robotic physics child. The architect of the matrix. Technology source. David Burtka. You take care of you. Object clean robot. Meat aversion. And it's really interesting because I have a meat aversion. I don't like the idea that we have to eat meat, although our bodies require it. The end, a robot prophecy. Daniel Joseph Duke. 5 robot ideas. Starvos. High intensity training. Gene is of godly greatness. Frustrating robot tech. Anyway, you see, you type this in and you'll see what I'm talking about. The things that it says in here for 1111. And RH positive, yep. There's all kinds of really weird things that are said under this 1111. So I'll be researching that some more very soon. Anyway, so rest of my stream I want to dedicate to giving you guys a glimpse into what I experience and see with Adonai and Gabriel and what I call home. So we'll get back to the actual page here. Hang on just a second and I'll stop sharing. Okay. Hey, okay, I'm going to check the chat. I know that was a lot to take in, and you guys were kind of watching me do a little bit of my research live, basically. I'm going to go back and see what you all said. Miss Apple says, my skin hurts, burns under my thick clothes when after exposure to the sun. Yes, I'm allergic to the sun. And also, I can tell you that where I'm from, the light level is not nearly as intense. And I've been very photosensitive. And you know how you see the movies of people requiring, vampires requiring sunglasses even at night. Kind of feel that way. Like right now, the bright light just coming through the window over there is a lot for me. Very photosensitive. Sir Tony, I just remember something from when I was 3 years old. I felt a sense of dread that I had to go to work in the world when I didn't even know what work was. I just released it. That's awesome. Yep. See, that's why I was telling you guys, when you're going through that process of returning to your innocence, there's things that you totally forgot about that are going to pop into your head, and you need to release them as that happens, because you realize that the hamster wheel, that you're supposed to go to work, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Mm-mm. Not in the way that they have designed it, or the virus has redesigned what was perfect once and turned it into something much different. What about implants, nanotechnology? Yes, that is a problem. My ears are pursing, still cannot sleep. Your ears are ringing? Corey, is that what you were trying to say? I can tell you this much. Adonai and Gabriel, when they're around me, they create ringing sounds. Now, there are people that have true tinnitus because of hearing loss. But if your ringing is directional and it comes and goes, that's likely another being near you. So the main thing I want to instill in you is no fear. Do not fear, okay? Don't be scared. You're more powerful than anything else that could be around you. So remember that. You could have an angel hanging about or another being. So just know that. And don't be scared, okay? And that ringing, you will become accustomed to it. I'm very accustomed to it. They're around me pretty much. Well, I have all kinds of entities around me, but my guys are around me a great deal of the time, and I've become almost, if I stop hearing them, I almost feel lost. It's very weird. Um, so try not to worry too much. Um, Kirby, with all the alien species out there, who would bother contacting us? Well, they all would. Think about this. We were made in the Creator's image. We're extremely powerful. They all have an interest in what's going on here. So, because they know what we are. Think, and many of them have dinked or diddled with our DNA. They've been down here. It shows up in our DNA that they've been here. So they have a great deal of interest in us. A huge, huge amount. Miss Kim, I think the galactic spiral of creation could be our DNA it's referring to. We were originally created with a 3-stack DNA spiral, but were interfered with by Anunnaki because we would be too powerful to be a slave. Yes. As far as galactic spiral of creation, I'm not sure that's what it means, but I do know that our DNA was heavily manipulated by the virus to keep us from remembering who and what we are. And we can recover that. Corey, my aliens are fallen angels, demons. Okay, Corey, that there are good ones too. So don't, like I said, don't be scared, and remember you are far more powerful than they are. So do your best to still your inner self, still yourself, and Keep that in your head. You are far, 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 far more powerful than you ever imagined. And those things that are around you, you command them. And I'm not joking. You command them. You are made in his image. You are a creator. And trust me, when they realize that you realize what you are, if it's something nasty, it will get away from you as fast as it possibly can. Okay? Kirby. In some computers, 11111 equals +1. Or is that a minus? -1 could be. And Corey says most aliens are demons. There are some, yes. But keep in mind what I told you. Miss Kim. So they messed with our third spiral. We will be repaired with the 5D. It's the junk DNA the cabal refer to. So we are kept in the dark. We'll regain all our abilities. Yes, and just reconnecting with your inner true innocence, the true you, you will regain a great deal of those abilities. And even if they are somewhat muted, the longer that you keep reconnecting and stuff, those are going to grow and grow and grow and expand, and you'll notice new ones. So keep that in mind, okay? 5D repairs our DNA, but we also have to stay away from I think she meant GMO food and drink pure spring water and help rebuild our DNA. Yes, that is a big key to helping recover yourself, is to try to rid yourself of the foods. And like I said, most of the people that I'm speaking to have that genetic code, the MTHFR. If you're a TI, a super soldier, somebody that experiences lots of paranormal, any of that, Mandela effect, you name it, you likely have MTHFR genetics. And they have been attacking that genetic code in a big way through food, water, air, you name it. And so you have to get it. I know it seems like a lot, but you have to get up to speed on what you can do to fight against those things that are crippling your abilities to remember who you are and crippling your power. Kirby. The first one means the number's negative. Then the rest are ones, because if there are only 4 bits, 11111 -1 equal. I have to tell you, I'm not big on the numbers, but I have found others like Neo Glimmer and some others that are working with the codes. Kevin Janock, I think is his name. He's a Canadian, I believe. He is thoroughly spiraling out literally on the numbers. I mean, he's so focused on the numbers, but I don't blame him. I mean, I'm very focused on what I'm doing, but I believe that's his mission. And these, like Neo Glimmer and Kevin and some others, need to, I'm going to try to do what I can to bring them together, because they may help answer each other's codes that are going on, because they're receiving them and they're trying to decipher what's going on. Like Kevin, he's figured out that this entire place is created using numbers, and that's true. And he proves that by decoding everything in his sight. Literally, I think he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. They all are. All of you are. You've just been stifled by the virus. So the more you wake up, the more your abilities are going to become apparent, and you may have missions of your own that become apparent. Miss Kim, Tony, do you think it could have related to a memory from a past life? At 3, you could still regain memory of what you did. Have you been to a person previously that lived to work? And Sir Tony says, I will try, Kim. I like work, though. So it could be, but I'll try to remember. Okay. And Kirby says, be careful finding good spring water. A lot of it's not from springs. Yes. I have a feeling, I haven't done a ton of research on this, but I think pH balance on water is crucial. So if you live in an area that has lots of natural springs and wells, like I do, the access to decent water is easy for me, sort of, pretty much. But do your best to look into that. There's other people that already have, but I have a feeling that the pH balance has a lot to do with whether the water is really good for you or not. So keep that in mind. Yeah, there's some spring water that's not really spring water, and labeling. As we know, the virus is heavy throughout the industrialized world. So when you're buying things at the supermarkets or something like that, they lie straight out to your face, mixed in with truth. It says spring water. Yes, it's water, but was it really from a spring? Like I said, little truth mixed in with the lies. That's their game. It's always been their game. Okay, so now that I caught up with chat, I'm going to go into describing what Adonai and Gabriel are like individually. I'm going to describe what I call home, what that looks like, and my experiences there. We'll start with Adonai and some epiphanies I had with them as well. Adonai. I know I've known him my entire existence, maybe not on this planet, but my existence off planet. But the first time, besides as a child, and those, that connection that I felt with something, and when I got baptized, there's that. But down the road, and this would have been not last summer, the summer before, I have had a huge interest in paranormal. And so working with EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, is been included in that. And the Gabriel had, because I heard they make a very, very, very high-pitched, and we're not talking about tinnitus high pitch, we're talking way above that frequency even. And it doesn't cover up every other things that I can hear in the environment. It's just a real high-pitched ringing. I call it ringing or singing sound. It's like a crystalline singing. Imagine crystals singing, and that's what they sound like. They also are different pitches. So when Adonai's near me, his pitch is a little lower in frequency. Gabriel's is a little higher in frequency. So I can tell who's who and who's here when. Um, and it's the same if somebody new comes into my space, I know it. Like I hear the frequency. So that's why I was saying earlier, it's interesting because Adonai's the only one here today. I don't hear Gabriel at all. Adonai's here. Um, he was speaking to me via telepathy prior to the stream, but he hasn't said anything during. The first time, well, Gabriel had told me, I noticed a new frequency hanging about. And I asked Gabriel, who is that? And he told me Adonai. And so I was like, oh, really? Adonai. Okay. Somebody new hanging about. And I knew it wasn't a bad guy. I could sense that. And plus, Gabriel would have alerted me if it was. So, so I started, I just knew he was there. I didn't really speak with him or anything. And you have to remember at this point, they were retraining or helping me remember my telepathy because it had dulled because I hadn't used it in so many years since I was a little kid. And so, and they were retraining me using butterflies. That's one of the things they used was they would tell me to look out the window. They'd give me that telepathy, look out the window. And every time I'd look out, there would be a yellow butterfly every time. That was them retraining me to listen. Okay. And so I spent time with that happening. And then the more as time went on, the better my telepathy got with communicating with them. But Gabriel had told me his name was Adonai. And you'll understand what's going on there in a minute when I describe Gabriel. But probably, I don't know, 2 months later, approximately, maybe 3, I was running a program. It's an app on a phone, just playing around, seeing if I could get any EVPs. And I was standing there talking to my son's best friend. And my son's best friend has an interest in what I'm doing and in the paranormal, even if my son does not. So I was talking about Gabriel and Adonai at the time, and I turned on the box with his best friend standing there and immediately got, it's Adonai. So he corrected me right there on the spot using that app. And yes, they can manipulate electronics and anything that, well, everything's made of energy pretty much. So, so they can manipulate things. And so that's the response I got directly first thing when I turned it on. It's Adonai. So those of you out there pronouncing it Adonai, you're incorrect. His name is Adonai. I got corrected too, so don't feel bad. And yeah, he knows what you mean when you say the word wrong, but yeah, just so you know, it's Adonai. Anyway, I could sense his presence. And like I said, the energy, the frequency that I'm feeling, the energy, the frequency is lower. The energy I feel is, he doesn't talk a lot. What do they say? A man of few words. um, I think he's very contemplative. I think he does enjoy the antics of Gabriel and I. Because I think it amuses him. He, the sense that I get when I'm around him is like a father, a brother, a teacher or a guide. Um, very an overwhelming sense of love and concern and empathy coming from him. Um, my experiences in the astral with Adonai at what I call home. He is, if you see pictures of Jesus with the dark brunette hair, um, that's very close. But it is dark brunette, not medium brunette, light brunette. It's dark brunette. Um, he's well, one experience is where he put his arm. We were standing next to each other, looking up at the sky at what I call home, and the sky is very low. The atmosphere is very low to where what I call home. And we were looking up at some angels that were ethereal, like in their light bodies, basically. And they were flying around in a circle above us. And they were singing, but some of them were crying. And I think he did this because I had asked via telepathy, what am I? And during this particular occurrence, this vision, because for lack of a better word of what to call it, he had his arm over my shoulder and, pulled in close like a good friend or a brother or a father. And he pointed up and he said, "See the purple one?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he goes, "That's you." And I'm like, I was kind of blown away. I'm just like, I was speechless. Um, another instance, and during that particular visit home, where I call home, it was just below a kind of garden area that I'd visited before in another vision. It was kind of a little bit below that, like on a cliffside. And we were alone. None of the other people from my home were nearby. They were about, but they weren't nearby us. And I got the sense that, that cliff we were standing above, like there was a river, because there was water trickling down. And I got the feeling that just over that cliff is where all the water was collecting from that water that was trickling down from where we were standing. Um, just trying to describe it the best way I can. The light, like I said, the light on this planet is very harsh to me. When I'm at what I call home, the light is very subdued compared to here. It's probably a third. You know how it is right before the sun goes completely down and you can still see? It's like that. It's very subdued. Um, and every time I'm there, it's mostly all clouds in the sky. Um, you don't see a sun. Um, just the sky is lit, but it's very subdued compared to here. Um, then another occasion, when I was with Adonai, he was with Gabriel, and they had me laying on one of probably what I believe is one of the benches that are in the garden. And on this particular occasion, they were both looking over my body and seeing my range of motion with my legs and arms and things, and just looking me over, kind of like you would if a doctor was looking you over. And they were talking to each other back and forth. And the comment was made by Adonai was, we had no idea it was going to get this bad. And there was a great deal of empathy and care, because I think when I incarnated here, and it's something that me and Miss Spirit have talked about, worst case scenario has played out for us incarnating here. So when we volunteered to come on the missions here, we were told it could get bad, but we kind of poo-pooed it and said, we got this. And but worst case scenario played out. And so they weren't expecting the amount of physical trauma to our bodies that was going to happen. So that was another time where I was directly in contact with Adonai himself in what I call home. I mean, I'm in contact with him constantly here now, but it's different. It's not the same as when I'm at home. But yeah, Adonai is very gentle, man of few words, very compassionate, very caring. Like I said, father, brother, guide, an equal. The best way I can describe him. Okay, now I'll get to Gabriel. I hope I didn't leave anything out. With Gabriel, I believe he's been around my entire life. Actually, before. I believe he's been around my entire existence and not just on this planet. He's been following me around, protecting me, I believe. You know how people say, oh, I should have died that day during that one particular incident. I must have an angel looking over my shoulder. Well, I had one looking over mine. And the first time, I mean, I always knew there was something there. I didn't know what. You know, they start with the indoctrination and the amnesia right away because they mind wipe you when they put you back down here during the forced reincarnation. They mind wipe you, which was never supposed to happen. You were supposed to have full memories intact every time you incarnated. But with the virus, they are mind wiping you. And I knew something was there. I just didn't know who it was or what it was. I could only guess. I'm going to get a drink. But the first time that I had an experience with Gabriel beyond just knowing something was there was a very, very interesting thing because the timing is really funny. Keep in mind, Gabriel loves music. And I mean loves music. And so if I start playing music, he is like, you know, if he's not anywhere around and I don't hear him, suddenly, boom, he's here. He loves music. But the first time I became really aware, but I'll say that in a minute, but I was it would have been probably 1985 or early 1986, late 85, early 90, or early 86. I know my second child, my younger daughter, was already here at the time. So I'm time framing it there. My girlfriends and I, our husbands were in a band together, and we decided to have a girls' night out. And the three of us walked into a bar called the Hard Rock in Westport, Missouri, which is just north of the plaza in Kansas City. We're walking into this place, and I don't remember if the exact order we were walking in to the bar. It was quite crowded. It was probably around 8 p.m. or so. So it was already, kicking into full swing, and it was a very popular place. And I'm trying to remember who walked in first, second, third. I'm not sure. But I suddenly had or got kissed on my neck from behind. And my first instinct was to turn around and pop somebody. It's like, or, yeah, just turn around and pop them one, especially if it was somebody I didn't know. If I turned around and realized it was a friend or something, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But I turn around, and there stands a extremely tall, blonde-haired person that reminded me, very blonde, super blonde, reminded me, the kind of blonde hair like Billy Idol had. Super blonde. It was not super short, not long, but very blonde, and very tall. And he had a smile on his face, like a cat that ate the canary, but it was kind of almost, it was a grin, but it was soft, a soft grin. And it stunned me. I just turned around, when I turned around and looked at him, of course I didn't smack him because I was a little stunned. And I had bumped my girlfriend in the shoulder with my hand, kind of patted her, like to get her attention, to let her, just so that she would turn around when I turned around, because I was getting ready to smack somebody and I wanted her to see what was going on, And so she got a glimpse of him too. And I turned around to look at her and ask her, "Did you see that?" And she's like, "Yeah." And by the time I got turned around, he was gone. That was one of my first physical, in the 3D, on this plane experiences with Gabriel. He's very playful. Like I said, he had the smile on his face, like, he was just being playful. That's just him. Anyway, so that's what he looks like. The next experience was years and years and years later, besides just knowing I had something or somebody following me around. And the next experience with him would have been, I don't know, 2000, I hate to even guess right now, but it would have been somewhere between 2005 and 2012 somewhere. I need to look back through photos because I was getting a lot of orb photos of him in his Merkaba orb form. But him appearing above my bed in broad daylight. And I've described that before. Let's see. Like I said, he was, whenever I visit home, he's always there. I mean, always talking to him. We're like sidekicks. The one time that I visited home, and like I said, the sky is a whole lot dimmer than it is here. There's a garden area, and I think it's where we kind of all hang out. It's where we party, where we have fun together. And there's like benches. It's like there's foliage, but it's a kind of big round area. There's foliage all the way around. There's what are like benches placed randomly along the edge, not out in the middle, just out along the edges. There's like a columnar structure with 4 columns. Kind of reminds me of the Greek columns of Colosseums and things like that, with a dome structure on top of those 4 columns. It's a garden. The light's very subdued, like I said. The sky is always kind of overcast, cloudy looking. And it's much lower atmospheric wise. It's, the sky doesn't seem very far from ground level. Of course, we're kind of up on a cliff too. This is up on a cliff, this garden. I had described, there was other, what I feel are my brothers and sisters there in the garden, and we're all just hanging out, being what we are. And, I started thinking about it because I'm reimagining that very vision, and I can see it perfectly in my head. And I was like, because people ask me how many are there, and I've thought about that a few times. And because I mentioned I didn't count, but when I actually sit here and imagine that vision again, there was Gabriel and I were sitting on a bench talking. I believe there was one other standing right next to me, likely Adonai, that was in that conversation. And then off to my left, there was another bench with 2 others like me sitting there talking. And it's not always verbal talking. Sometimes it's just telepathy happening, and we can all hear each other, basically. And then up further, we're on the, one of the outer sides of this rounded garden area, sitting on benches. And then up further, there is, the 4-column domed structure. There were approximately, I think there was another bench near that area, and there was probably 2 sitting there, maybe 3. And then directly in the columned dome area, there was approximately 2 or 3 there. So approximate count would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 that I could see. Now, were they all there at the time? I don't know. That's just what I could see in that particular snapshot of what I call home. So there's not a ton of us. There's just not very many. Anyway, Gabriel, he started, they started training me to use my telepathy again, because I kind of shut it down since I was a little kid. And so the more that I used it, the better I got at it. And Gabriel started talking to me all the time. The more I used, the more I became familiar with it, the more I realized he was talking to me. And so most of the time he's a character. He's very playful in nature, very free-spirited. Uh, like that one day when I was typing and I was typing out the end of a letter, I put my infinity sign after the heart, and he made a comment, "Well, your heart looks like it's pooping." Things like that. He's a character, and he jokes around. He loves music. Like I said, I think Adonai gets amusement. He doesn't really show it, but I think he's very amused by Gabriel and I's antics and joking around. But yeah, that's what they're like. That's what home is like. Trying to think if I left anything out. I know how I feel when I'm at home, and it feels like I'm at home, you know. If you think back in your lifetime to a place that felt like home to you, that feeling of being relaxed, just being yourself, no pretending, no mask. That's what it felt like. And we use both. We talk verbally out loud to each other, the ones that we're closest to, but telepathy wise, we're all connected. Call it a hive mind, I don't know, but we're connected. Like if one's in trouble, we know it. It's the best way to explain it. But I told you guys I would share what they're like and what home's like. And so anyway, I hope that helped kind of describe all that for you all. But anybody have questions about them or what home's like? Like I said, I don't know. It's a place. I mean, I don't know whether to describe it as a planet or not. It does have a sky, so it could be a planet. I just know there's not a lot of us. There's, not very many. And I had guessed 30 or 40, but after sitting there and remembering, exactly what that place looks like, there wasn't that many. So I was off. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to read chat. Can they speak our language? And it was a question Kirby asked. Yes, absolutely. I think they have the ability to speak any language. Sir Tony asked, do they have their own language? When working with telepathy, it's a language of its own, and it's more feelings than it is words, is the only way I can describe it. So yes, it is their own language. But I wouldn't know how to put a name on it. Do they eat? Okay, here's something I want to describe to you guys. for me, being in what I call a biosuit doesn't feel right. It feels, well, plus a defective biosuit with the genetics and the genetic code being attacked. That makes it extremely difficult. But to me, um, always wondered why I was so annoyed about having to sleep and having to stop what I'm doing. It crossed my mind this week and last week. You know, I get super, super annoyed when I have to stop what I'm doing to go to the bathroom, to eat, or anything like that. It doesn't, it's annoying. To me, I think that where we come from, or at least where I come from, that is not something. I've never seen them have a need for any of that. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think eating, sleeping, or getting rid of waste is something they have to do. And for me, it feels very foreign and very annoying. That's the best way. Now, experiencing the taste of food, yay, that's fun. Love it. Everything else to do with it, no, not fun. Don't love it, including getting rid of it. All the annoyances. Um, I don't like I like sleep because I get to connect with them and do other things astral wise, kind of my job on that side. But that's where my liking of sleep stops because I feel like I'm missing out on things and there's so much work to be done that sleep is very inconvenient. Um, do they reproduce like humans? No. Do they? No. They are creators themselves, and I think they can create however they choose or see fit to. Is my gut feeling. So when you say reproduce like humans, it'd be more like creating um, species. Um, you see what I'm saying? The 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 thing is astrally connecting with another soul spirit and dancing with them is basically their way of having sex. And it's completely different than the 3D holodeck sex. Completely. There's some similarities, but and as you experienced, I believe, if I remember one of your videos correctly, you had an experience of what that astrally might be like. Yeah. So anyway, we covered a lot today. Yep. Here we go again. Another 2-hour vid. There's just so much going on and so much to share. And it's just, God, oh, there's more. There's more, but I'm going to stop it there today and give you guys a break. I know your brains are reeling. Mine always is, trust me, with some of the information going on. Remember, do your inner work. Go back and look at the video dated the end of July, Return to Innocence, to get you started. I'm still working on a video to guide you through those steps. Make sure you look at those codes and I'm going to recommend exactly what that document says, that PDF, Neo Glimmer, that I shared earlier. I'm going to work on those myself, because there's way too many things inside that are exactly what I've been saying and exactly what's happening here. So if you all would do the same, I have a feeling that that's also part of our answer, part of our key. So returning to your inner, the true you, your innocence, and doing that work, and then also that PDF, because that PDF is describing exactly what I've been telling you all, plus some. There's a little bit there that I need to kind of decipher for myself and figure out what it means exactly. But it's one of those things, there's way too many pieces that click into place when I read that. Way too many for it not to be correct. So make sure you take a look at the links and stuff. But lots of work going on behind the scenes here, and I will keep you guys filled in. I have a feeling, hopefully, that I can get some more videos up, because I have other recommendations for, channels and links and things like that. So coming up, I had planned on doing them throughout this week, but it's just there's been a lot going on, and I'll describe that in an upcoming stream, which will probably happen before Sunday, because there's just so much happening so fast that I need to put up more stuff sooner rather than later. Anyway, I hope you all have a absolutely brilliant week coming up, and I hope the information helps you all assimilate some of the other things that I've said or talked about, and connect some more dots, more piece up. I can talk today. Puzzle pieces chinking into place as we see. And can't wait to see you guys again soon. Anyway, any questions, leave them in the comments. Also, if you would like to tell of your experiences, share them with everybody else. If you're another channel owner, etc., and would like to come on my stream or vice versa, please send me an email at criticalbreak@outlook.com, all lower case, no spaces, criticalbreak@outlook.com. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. I love you guys from my inner innocence, past the stars and back, thousands of times. Have a great evening. See you all soon. Bye.